What's up, friends? It's Volt Firecore. Welcome back to Set Showcase. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite Generation 8 mons, Toxtricity. And I guess you could also count his his alternate form, going to be Toxtricity Low-Key, which we're not really going to be showcasing since he doesn't have access to a very important move that normal Toxtricity has. And it kind of, having this kind of tells your opponent that you don't have that move. So it's just like Keldeo. You want to use the normal form, not the sacred form, or else they know you have Sacred Sword, or some shit like that. Anyways, taking a look at this thing's stats, it's the exact same for the other form. It is pretty good. A very powerful special attacker with two very good stab attacks, Poison and Electric. Like, it's totally walled by ground types, but it does have some counter measures for that. Absolutely insane. And it looks sick. Has a Gigantamax form, so obviously they cared about this thing enough to make it cool. And there's its shiny, pretty basic. Yeah, taking a look at its move pool now, I'm going to go through this very quickly. It's pretty basic, a bunch of really good electric type attacks, all that kind of stuff. But pairing all these together, it can get some crazy stuff, and of course I'll talk about the notable moves inside of the sets. And then its ability, which makes this thing a million times better, going to be Punk Rock, making it so all sound type based attacks have a life orb bonus. So that includes things like Hyper Voice, its signature move Overdrive, which we'll get into all those kind of things. And it also takes half damage from sound type moves as well, so that's pretty cool for, I don't know, opposing Toxtricities or something like that. But anyways, let's take a look at the sets. So of course, we have to start off with the most used set, or the one that really popped off as of late. This is the Shift Gear Sweeping set. Now, like I already said, this mon with Punk Rock can do a bunch of damage with Boom Burst and Overdrive. So, yeah, it is very powerful. So since, Punk Rock buffs him up, you can have the Life Orb, buffs him up, and then Shift Gear, which raises your speed and then raises your attack. Now, it used to be used on old Toxtricities back when it first came out, with like a 4 attack set. It used to have like Boom Burst, Sludge Wave, and Overdrive, or something like that. Maybe with like a Snarl or something if you're really feeling crazy. But that actually changed when people figured out that the secondary effect of Shift Gear, being the raise in attack, can actually be paired up with Drain Punch to take out one of its biggest counters, being Excadrill, which like fully counters it. Spadef Excadrill was like a really big thing, so it like totally walled this thing. That was like post DLC 1, so actually maybe post DLC 2. Yeah, it was with Rillaboom and all that kind of stuff, with Grassy Glide. So yeah, pairing this with its EV spread, it is able to one-shot an Excadrill with a Drain Punch after +1, depending on the Excadrill. Again, this is old meta, but still, this is a very strong set, and the one you're probably going to be running into most of the time, since it is crazy strong. Yeah, because Boom Burst, 140 base power, just punches through them, and if they don't have an adequate switch-in, which might have been their Excadrill, you can basically get good sweeps with this thing. But its biggest weakness is being able to switch in. It's very frail. Very, very frail. Anyways, moving on to the next set, we have Throat Spray, which is a new item introduced inside of Generation 8, which raises the user's special attack if they use a sound type move. So it's like if you scream your fucking head off, you're going to use some Throat Spray to, like, clear your throat because you're a little sore. You don't want to be screaming too long or else you're going to have, I don't know, throat disease, something like that. Anyways, pairing this up with its 2 sound-based type attacks, Overdrive and Boom Burst, it has other ones like Snarl, all that kind of stuff. Basically anything that involves vocal stuff from a Pokemon. Not only do they get buffed up with Punk Rock, but they also activate Throat Spray. So with a +1 special attack, this is a little bit better if you don't want to get chipped down from the Life Orb, but, this also is not the adequate EV spread to take on Excadrill, so maybe this one's just in like an overall set or something that you use to not counter Excadrill, but just deal with counters. I don't know. This isn't probably viable to use it with Throat Spray, but I just thought using it with Throat Spray is also something you could do if you want to have more longevity on it. Since getting Life Orb chip on a very frail mon, you'll probably die to like a Grassy Glide or something. Maybe. Well, actually, not maybe. You'll probably die at like 60 to a Grassy Glide. Probably. I don't know. That's Rillaboom for you. Alright, moving on. We have the Choice Spec set. Now, this is not really a set you're going to want to be using since it has like no way to deal with its biggest counters. Of course, being like Excadrill, Steel types, And basically that's it. Basically just steel types that are grounded. Yeah. Maybe Steelix. I guess Steelix too. Just all those bulky dudes. Really annoying. You know what I'm talking about. But with specs, you don't have to worry about, setting up. You can just get that free damage off with Boom Burst most of the time. But if you have a Corviknight out, you can go for the Overdrive. This also lets it use Sludge Wave, which is a very good stab attack. You could use Sludge Bomb if you really want to get like poison, but I feel having that extra 5 from Sludge Wave is most of the time better. And then Volt Switch, which you're not going to be seeing too much on this Mon, since his most viable sets are sweeping sets, and you don't want to be, going for Shift Gear and then using Volt Switch. I have seen some sets like that, where you have like half your set being like a sweeping set and then the other one like a support set. Like I've seen like a Nasty Plot Trick Scarf Togekiss or something. It's like you have to trick your opponent and then you can Nasty Plot. It's pretty weird. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be running a Timid Nature on this since it is not that fast. But yeah, no Shift Gear. Very, very sad with this thing. But strong as hell. The Choice Scarf set, which I kind of enjoy using. I like to use Encore on it as like a little gimmick, I guess. You can come in there, go for a Choice Scarf Encore on any kind of annoying Mon. Maybe if you don't have your Choice Scarf anymore from like a knockoff, then you can also revenge them, or just, if they're setting up on you, having the Choice Scarf Encore is always good, since you don't have to worry about annoying attacks. Yeah, like Stealth Rock or that kind of stuff, or if they just kill you with an attack that usually can't hit this thing. Maybe they go for a Steel type attack. Scarf Encore, they Iron Head you, gonna do like 2 damage, and then they're probably gonna want to switch out. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, definitely gonna be running the maximum speed as possible, and with Overdrive, Boom Burst, and Volt Switch, just good coverage moves to get in and get out with Punk Rock. I think Heavy Duty Boots could be used on this thing if it was a little bit faster, since it could be like a knockoff Zeraora, I guess, with more special-oriented strength. But I just don't really think this thing needs that kind of speed, since it's best used with Shift Gear, and that's pretty much it. It's a Shift Gear Mon, which fits very well with its motif of being like really punky. It's like shifting up. It's getting powerful. So yeah, let's move on to the next set. And that is going to be my favorite set here by far. Now, this is probably the most trash set you can possibly use, but due to this Mon having such like domain when it's out, people are usually really scared of this thing. They're most of the time going to want to go into their counter. So this is really, really weird, but this is pulling off of Envy's, one of his newest videos, where he used Metal Sound Heatran. That's actually probably a pretty old video by now, but you know what I mean. So Metal Sound is another attack that is sound-based and activates the Throat Spray. So pairing it up with this, you can go for it on another counter, which is going to be Ferrothorn. Physically defensive, of course, and specially defensive is going to hardwall this. And this is the craziest part. Metal Sound lowers special defense ×2 on your opponent, also activating your Throat Spray, which makes it so they're -2 and you're +1. A Boom Burst with a Punk Rock, Modest Nature, has like a 56% chance to one-shot Ferrothorn, and after Stealth Rocks, it's a 100% chance to one-shot Ferrothorn. Calc it if you want, but holy Jesus. So if someone also might be inside of a situation like, oh god, this thing's pretty strong, I don't really want to get hit with an attack. Like, maybe a minus special defense Ferrothorn would maybe be pissing their pants at this time. Pretty scared, since, a not very effective attack being Boom Burst, almost one-shotting, is disgusting, not gonna lie. So they might switch into another counter, not really a counter, but they could, a Ghost type, maybe Dragapult or something like that. You have Snarl for that, which also lowers special attack of the opponent, a good VTC move, and it also activates Throat Spray, so if you want to go for that instead of the actual Overdrive, Boom Burst, you can use Snarl and activate your Throat Spray. The biggest downfall of this is it has no sweeping potential, unless you're on a very weakened opponent and it's only like Ferrothorn, a bulkier Mon, and they're just going to try to wall you with Ferrothorn, which normally would wall this thing, but maybe inside of a weird situation you can use this. It seems very niche, and using a Modest Nature on Toxtricity sounds very... it's not that fast. So hopefully this actually can be used, and I might make a video on it, since this is it's cool, but it's gonna die to anything. All right, moving on to the next set, we're gonna go for the subset. Now, like I said, with the Toxtricity over here, people are most likely going to want to go for switch-ins because they always have like a counter for this thing. If they know it's not shift gear, they might go into like extra drill, or if they have like especially defensive mon, specifically like Ferrothorn, or maybe like a Heatran. Now, Heatran's not going to take an overdrive, I don't think. Very well, at least. They might go into their counter. So, having a sub on this mon might actually help. Now, this is definitely not the best set since it has no way to hit those counters, but, you know, if you're inside of a situation where they just want to, like, sack their mon, you could use Shift Gear to set up, and, you know, you have Black Sludge, you have Substitute. You could replace Black Sludge for Throat Spray, I guess. I think Black Sludge could be better. I don't know, I just kind of put it on as an example of what you could do. Throat Spray also would work, so you could go for the sub, the Shift Gear up, and then you could Boom Burst something, and there you go, you're behind a sub when they have their counter out. And there you go. You have a +1 and +2 inside of speed, and the attack is useless since you have Overdrive and Boom Burst. So you're kind of taking up a coverage slot, which is very important being Drain Punch, for Substitute. So you could use that. I did give this one a Modest Nature, since if you are the Shift Gear sets, head back to the beginning, you're most of the time going to be wanting to use the Modest Nature, since that's most of the time the best way to go, since you're going to be outspeeding most things, because you're getting to like 500 attack, 500 special attack. Anyways, covering the last set, which is actually not going to be Toxtricity, this is going to be Toxel, which is an absolutely trash mon, which his move pool is, well, garbage. I just kind of wanted to throw this on here since, you know, I'm never going to make a video on him, since he only has like 5 moves, but I actually saw something that I could do with this mon, so, you know, here we go. This is going to be the Custap Berry Toxel, which is going to attempt to go for Endure, right, as a low mon, and then be able to go for the Endeavor. It also has a Nuzzle, so it could do that if you really want to do that. So maybe they hit you, you Endure, you have the Static, they're at low enough of a speed that you can outspeed them, and go for an Endeavor, or you can use a Custap Berry to use that. Either one. It's mostly just a weird supportive set. I just really wanted to do something with this mon, but when you take a look at its move pool, it is not that good. That is all it gets. Most of them are just supportive moves. It has Nuzzle as its only electric move, so definitely not going to be doing too much with this thing. But you know, it's might be usable. Going for Endure Endeavor with Custap Berry might be possible. Not really sure, but I think that's going to wrap it up for the Toxtricity, and I guess you could say Toxel at the end showcase. Hopefully some of these were useful. I will definitely be trying to make a video on this right here, since this looks quite interesting to try out. But with that being said, guys, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and keep on the lookout for my videos.